Hello, everyone. It is time for our Tuesday live stream, and I'm so excited to chat with you today. This is going to be a really great topic. It's something that you wouldn't think is near and dear to my heart, but it actually is. We're talking about SOPs, standard operating procedures, and why you need them in your business. So thank you for everyone who is joining me live. Just a reminder, we go live every single Tuesday at noon Central Time over in our Facebook group. That is the VA Savvy's Facebook group. You can access it at thevirtualsavvy.com/community if you want in that group. We also stream live to our YouTube channel, so you can catch us in both places. And we just talk about a different element of online business, of freelancing, on creatively carving your own path, which is what we're all about here. And so I am super excited to be chatting with you today about standard operating procedures because believe it or not, this has been a huge growth lever for my business. And so, and it's something that we are actively teaching our students, specifically our Savvy Circle students who are in that scaling phase of their business, right? So we're going to talk about SOPs, we're going to talk about how to implement them. And so whether you are in the launch, grow, or scale part of your business, right, this is something that's going to be super, super beneficial to you. Okay, so welcome everyone. I would love to know in the comments, do you already have any SOPs in your business? Let me know. And if so, which ones do you have? Or if you're like, I don't know what an SOP is, that's okay. You can just comment that below and we're going to get to it to actually talk about what is an SOP and what you can do. Before we jump in, and as everybody's getting in, I see we have about, about 45 people live here currently. I do want to note to each one of you that we do have a super special masterclass. So we're talking about scaling. SOPs are definitely a portion of how to scale your business, right? We're going to talk a little bit about why that is, but we have a special training all about how to raise your rates, which is another way to scale your business. So it's a live training. It's a webinar that I'll be doing. That's a really, really good webinar. And I will literally be teaching you how to raise your virtual assistant rates. So if you're a freelancer or a VA, virtualsavvy.com/rates, you want to be there. You want to definitely register for that free training. You can go there ASAP. So let me jump over to the comments real quick. Hello, everyone. Don't know where or how to start. I'm not great at writing. Hey, that's okay. We're going to conquer that. You actually don't need to be a great writer to do SOPs. I'm currently developing SOPs, Barbara says. Sharon says, no, but I desperately need them. I don't even know what they are. That's totally fine. Don't worry. So that's what we're going to jump into today. So let's go ahead and do this. So you guys, comment ready in the comments if you are ready for this. So number one, let's define what SOPs are, because I feel like that's probably pretty important to know what we're actually creating and why they are important. So this is actually, I'm just going to read a definition because I was like coming up with my own, but then I found this one on a blog called Tech Target, and I really liked the way they phrased it. So here's a definition of an SOP. A standard operating procedure, which is, short SOP. It's a set of instructions that describes the step-by-step process that must be taken to properly perform a routine activity. SOPs should be followed the exact same way every time to guarantee that the organization remains consistent and in compliance with industry regulations and business standards. So essentially, it's the step-by-step checklist of how you do what you do. And what's so crazy is that most of us, we actually have SOPs and we don't even know it. The majority of you who are actively doing regular things in your business. So it could be that you are posting on Instagram. It could be that you're interacting in Facebook groups. It could be that you are onboarding clients. It could be that you're doing discovery calls. Whatever you're doing in your business that you do more than once, right? Something that you do as a repeatable thing in your business, you already have a way that you're doing it, right? You're like, okay, well, I guess first I do this, then I do. It's literally the SOP process is literally documenting the things that you're already doing regularly in your business. Okay. So I think a lot of us think that it's like this big, scary, I'm going to have to create all these processes. the majority of us have processes. Like I know for me, I have processes. They're just all here, right? It's like, well, I know how to do this, but it's just all in my brain instead of actually documented out in a specific format, right? And so it's literally just the process of getting what's in your head, what you're already doing, into a like a checklist, right? Into something that becomes repeatable. Now, why? Right? Like you're like, okay, I mean, that sounds like a lot of work, and it is, but here's why they're important. Like, why would I take the time to document the things that I'm doing, right? So let me share a little story with you, okay? Because I feel like this may help you guys understand why SOPs are important. So, SOPs have been attached to every growth spurt that I've had in my business. Okay. So essentially, when I first started out as a virtual assistant in 2015, right? I did focus on marketing first, which is still what I recommend. Like 100%. If you don't have your first client yet, guys, please save this video for what you're going to do after you have a few clients. I truly, truly believe that because SOPs can become a distraction from getting you to market. And it's one of the things we say all the time here at the Virtual Savvy. It's like, man, market, market, market. Marketing needs to be your top priority if you don't already have clients, right? But once you have a few clients, then this becomes one of the most impactful next phases of growth for you. So when I first started my VA business, I got clients very quickly. You know, I had a background in marketing. That's why we emphasize so much marketing in our trainings and our courses, and all of our students are learning how to be good marketers, right? And so whenever I first started out, I got clients relatively quickly. But here's what happened, right? I had, two clients. Oh, now three, now four, now five. Whoa, what happened is I automatically was like, I can't handle the amount of work that's coming in, and I don't want to say no to clients. So I knew that I needed to hire people to help me. But like, how was I going to hire people if I didn't know what I was handing off, if I didn't have my own systems documented in order to hand off some things to other people, right? I can't say, hey, take over all of my, creating social images for these clients if I didn't have a set system of how I create social images, right? And so without even really knowing what SOPs were at the time, this was 2015, I was a newbie business owner. I literally couldn't have defined SOP. I was like, hey, here's how you do the thing. And I made these little checklists, right? Sent them on to my subcontractors, and they were able to do the tasks for me, which meant I was able to grow my business. You guys, some of you know my story. I had 4 subcontractors in my basement apartment, like running this little mini agency, making 10K months, and like, oh, doing this thing, running a big time business without even like really knowing what I was doing, right? Wishing I had the videos that you guys have access to now that we're creating here. So, and that was a huge growth spurt because I was able to continue to grow because I was able to duplicate myself, right? Again, we go on, I'm a freelancer, and then I move on to starting to create online courses, right? And teaching other people how to work from home. And same thing, I had all of these ideas. I was doing stuff. I had a course, the course was selling. We had students, we had the marketing check, right? And I do truly believe that you need to have that, like, hey, I have people paying me for my thing before, but it was literally the very next step of like, okay, now we need to get some of our processes down. And so for me, at that point, I hired Melissa, which some of you guys know Melissa. She's the COO of the company. And she came in as my online business manager. And because I'm not naturally a systems person, she helped me systematize the business and get SOPs and start documenting things, right? And again, when Melissa joined the business was our first year that we became $1 million company. And so it's every time this like, I've aced marketing and now I've got to get procedures so it doesn't stop. Because here's what happens. If you get really good at marketing, then that means that you can get clients, right? It means you can get people saying yes to your services or your products or whatever it is. You can get people saying yes. At a certain point, you can't sustain that. You're going to have more people saying yes than you are going to have capacity. So what happens? You have to be able to duplicate yourself. And the first process in that is SOPs. Okay. So that's my personal story. And it's why I believe SOPs are so important. There's actually three reasons that I'm going to cover why SOPs are so, so, so important. And my screen's going to go fuzzy. Okay. I always get this fuzzy screen. So number one, I believe SOPs are so important because they help you actually evaluate your processes and simplify them. So, one of the things that I've noticed is when you actually document your processes, sometimes you can notice, oh, wait, like there probably is an easier way to do this, right? Like it's just, it's kind of that thing where, once you actually take a look at something, you're like, this could be done better, like I've started, it's like one little tweak that I've been making in my personal life is anytime I'm making meals for myself and I'm like kind of, last night I cooked dinner, right? And it was just the kids were out, Rob was out, like everyone was out. So I was just literally just cooking dinner for myself. And so I make my little like almond pasta stuff. I make my broccoli and my protein. I have it all. And in my head I was like, why don't I just double this so I have lunch for tomorrow, right? And like one simple thing saved me so much time. And it was just because I was like taking the time to like, oh, there's probably a better way to do this, right? And so I think that that is something that can happen when we're actually taking a look at our process and it's like, huh, I'm spending like an hour manually sending invoices every single month. Like, what if I just set up a system to like do this automatically, right? And so sometimes your SOPs give you an opportunity to simplify, to streamline, to say, hey, is there a person I could outsource this to? Sometimes there's a tool you could outsource it to, right? Again, you're manually sending contracts back and forth. Like you end up investing in something like Dubsado, which has a contract system already built into it, or, invoicing, you're sending out manual invoices. Oh, what if I set up a system to do auto invoices? So sometimes the thing that you're wanting to duplicate, one of the ways to expand, again, we're talking about expanding capacity. You're already marketing, you're already getting clients. How do you expand your capacity? It comes through outsourcing, and you can outsource to people or you can outsource to tools. And so one of the reasons why SOPs are so important is because it just causes you to like sit and actually look at your process. And sometimes just looking at your process helps you realize there's a better way to do this, right? I could invest a little money in a person or a tool to simplify this process. Okay, cool. Number one reason. Number two reason why I believe SOPs are important is because they do get you ready to hire. And so I see this mistake made a lot is that people, they're like, oh my gosh, I'm so overwhelmed. I need a subcontractor, right? And so you hire somebody like really, really quickly. And the problem is that then that person starts and you expect them to like solve all your problems when really like you needed to systematize yourself just a little bit before you hired that person. And it would have made the transition so much more simpler. So this person's just kind of sitting there being like, so what do I do? Or they're trying to like run with a process and you're like, oh, wait, that's not the way we do it. But you don't have the way you do it documented, right? And so there does need to be this like, I believe a preparation zone of, hey, here's the way we're already doing it. Then you can hand that to your freelancer and say, or your subcontractor and say, hey, if you think of a better way, great, change the SOP, make it better. Like I am giving you ownership over this to take this process, but at least you have kind of, it gives that person expectations, right? And it's one of the things I know, most of you guys listening to this live stream are probably freelancers. Like, isn't it nice when you come into a situation and your client already has like some expectations, some like, okay, here are the expectations I need to be hitting. It's really nice, right? So SOPs get you ready to hire. And then lastly, SOPs bring better brand consistency. They really do. They save you time. Once you have a set system, even if you're just doing them for yourself, right? Even if you're not ready to actually hire, you don't have the finances to hire other people. If you're like, man, I'm spending time just marketing every single day and I'm marketing in Facebook groups. I know my two top places to market our Facebook groups and LinkedIn. Okay, if you took 10 minutes, and this is the hard part, some of us don't take the time to systematize a thing. So we spend so much more time doing it because it's not processed, where it's like, if we just took like 10 or 15 minutes to come up with an actual process, we would spend less time like kind of scrambling, you know? It's why I have like a daily checklist. I start each morning with a, okay, what am I going to do today? I look at my calendar, I check Slack, you know, I make a to-do list for the day. I time block in my 3 biggest tasks for the day. I go into email, then I spend just 10 minutes in social. Like I have a checklist of what I do every single morning. So I systematized, I SOP'd in a sense, that part of my day, and it makes it that much easier. I don't sit at the computer and be like, well, what should I do now? You know, like it's processed, it's systematized. And so this really, really, really does help, even if it's just you and your business. Okay. So it saves time. It gives you more consistency. Once you do start to expand, there's actual, standards of like, hey, this is kind of the way we do things so that you can have brand consistency. Right. And so this is why I think SOPs are so important. So number one, they help you evaluate your processes and simplify them. Number two, they help get you ready to hire. And then number three, they bring better brand consistency and they save you time. Are you guys liking this? I'm talking really fast today. So I hope it's all coming in quickly. Let me jump to the comments real quick and see. Oh, we're getting some questions. Good. Yes, so true. When you have your SOPs written down, you can see where improvements need to be made. So awesome. Someone said, I'd love to see a Facebook Live on marketing when you're first starting out. I'm going to put this here. The virtualsavvy.com/BBO. I just dropped it in the comments. We actually have a training on how to market. So check out that training. It's really good. The virtualsavvy.com/BBO. Am I losing weight? I am. I've lost like 40 pounds, guys. Thanks. Let's see. Yeah, okay, cool. So let's keep going. So the next question becomes, which SOPs should I create first, right? So the SOPs that you should be creating first, I believe, now some people might have different opinions, and again, the best thing to do is just start, right? But I believe the best SOPs, like the first SOPs you should be creating are the tasks that you want to outsource first. Okay. So, because again, I believe one of the strengths, I've got that blurry video again. I believe one of the strengths of SOPs is the ability that they get you ready to hire. So even if you're like, I'm not financially ready to hire somebody, but you know, when I am financially ready to hire someone, this would be the first thing I want to outsource. So how do you know the first thing you want to outsource? In my opinion, it's usually just the thing you hate doing. Like, what is the thing that's taking up so much of your time, but that you're like, oh, I hate doing this, right? Like, so it could be your own social media, right? It could be something that you're doing for clients that you want to outsource because you just don't really enjoy it anymore, right? And so if you've ever done the Strength Finders test, right? Like, we tend to enjoy the things that are our strengths. Like one of my strengths is communication, and I love coming on here and talking to you guys. Like it's one of my favorite things to do. So I'm going to keep doing live streams. I hate writing SOPs. The girl who's doing the SOP training says, I hate actually writing them, right? So guess what? My team actually writes most of the SOPs now. And I'll share with you my process for SOPs. So there is still a part that I do in them, but it caters to my strengths, right? So what are the things that you dislike doing, right, in your business? Sending invoices? Is it customer service emails? Is it creating freebies? Is it writing blog posts? Is it, some of the things that you're doing for clients? What would you want to outsource first? That'd be the SOP that I would create first. Okay. So what is that thing for you? I would love to know in the comments, like which SOP would you want to create first? Because it's not the same for every person. And I didn't put this in here, but I do want to iterate, like, this is an ongoing process. So what we do is we take all of our SOPs, right? And we put them all together in one place. So that could be a giant Google Doc. It could be a folder in ClickUp. It could be a Trello board, right? Wherever your project management system already is, that's where you should put your SOPs, right? Put it in a place that you are already used to, right? Where all of your other things are held, like where are you already visiting, right? Because you're not going to want to use like a third party thing that you're not used to using it. So house it in one place, and that giant Google Doc or that Google folder or that ClickUp task or that ClickUp folder or that Trello board becomes your playbook. And so a company playbook is how it's the place that houses all of your SOPs, okay? And so your playbook is a never and it is a living document. It is changing, it's being updated, it's being added to all the time. So again, this is why I don't recommend starting your playbook until you have your first clients, because this is a thing that could distract you from getting clients and making money, right? Like get clients first. thevirtualsavvy.com/BBO. If you don't have clients, start there, get your client, then start to systematize your processes. So, yes, I would recommend having a place, and then this can just be something that becomes like, hey, I'm just going to try to do one SOP per month, right? Like this doesn't have to be a huge overarching thing, or like, okay, I know that in the next 3 months, I want to hire somebody to do my social media, right? So these are the 5 SOPs I would need to do before those 3 months are over. So you can make little goals. So you get to decide. There's no right or wrong answer on how many SOPs should you have. What should I mean, like ideally, it'd be great to document everything in your business, but like that would take a lot of time, right? And how much business would you be losing out on if you're spending all your time with SOPs? So it's a balance, right? It's systems, marketing, systems, marketing, systems, marketing. And that back and forth, I'll be honest, from going from like, hey, Abby living in a basement apartment, running this little mini agency, up to like multi-million-dollar business owner. I can tell you over these 6 years, 6, 7 years, how many years I've been in business, it's literally it's the rhythm. It is the rhythm of business. It's the rhythm of a growing business. Okay, I'll say that. The rhythm of a growing business is marketing, systems. Ooh, we've got good systems. Back, we need more marketing. Let's up our marketing. Oh, our marketing, we're getting good. We need to update more systems because we have more clients now. Okay, systems, marketing, systems, marketing. It is this like balance that just kind of naturally happens, that you go back and forth. Okay. So let's jump into, oh, some of you guys were saying which SOPs you were going to create first. Let me look at that. Let's see. Social media. Yeah. Social media content creation, because I truly hate it. Lynette, that's hilarious. Yep, I get it. So yeah, the things that you dislike the most, those would be the SOPs that I would start with. So how do you actually create them, right? We've gone over what SOPs are, why they're important. We've talked about which SOPs you should create first. So here is my process for how I create SOPs, how I recommend our team create SOPs. And so number one is actually deciding on the SOP to create, right? And so, hey, I'm going to create this like how I post on social media SOP. I'm going to create this how to onboard a new client SOP, right? I'm going to create whatever this system is. I'm going to go ahead and decide on the system that I'm going to do. Okay. Number two, this is again the way that I do it. If you want to write it out first, just so you like know what you're doing, that's fine. But step number two for me, like if the process is already there and I'm already doing it and I know it on repeat, then I will record myself. So one of our favorite tools, we talk about it literally all the time, is Loom, Loom, loom.com. And it's a screen recording software. And so literally just record yourself doing the thing. And you can say, hey, in the beginning of the video, like, hey, in this SOP, I'm going to show you how I post to Instagram. And guys, don't make this more complicated than it needs to be. If you fumble over your words or you like click the wrong place, don't go back and re-record the video. Like this is literally, you're going to view this and potentially team members, like subcontractors are going to view this. Okay. It actually may be good for them to see your mistake, right? Like if you're like, oh, wait, nope, that's not where we go. It's here. It might actually be good for them to see that and know, oh, that's not where I go, right? And so don't get so caught up in the recording process that that you're like spending forever creating these videos. Literally just record yourself, screen record yourself doing the thing, whatever process you want to do. After that, you go and rewatch the video, right? You watch the video you just created, and as you're watching the video, you literally just write down the steps. Okay, well, first, if I'm scheduling social media, like first, I look at a calendar and see how many posts I'm going to need for the month, right? Then second, I open a Google Doc, and if I need 25 posts for the month, then I'm going to think of 25 topics. Here's how I think of those topics, right? Actually like process it out. Okay, I have my 25 topics. Now I'm going to create the copy for those 25 things. Now I'm going to create the images and actually show, like, I go to Canva, right? Like, be so specific about what you actually do inside the video. So then you not only have a video that shows the person visually, if they're a visual learner, now you actually have a checklist that is a repeatable process of how this thing can happen, right? And so that's it. Like, that's how you create the SOP. It doesn't have to be fancy, right? And I think we get really, really caught up on it. And it's why one of our core values, I keep this here so I can show you guys, right? We value, don't look at my nails, they're really messy. We value action over perfection. And so take action. Like, an imperfect SOP is better than no SOP. Okay. We need t-shirts that say that. That's not a cool t-shirt. Never mind. So so watch the video, create the step-by-step process yourself. And then lastly, just house it in your company playbook. Again, wherever you're putting that, if that is in Trello or ClickUp or a Google Doc, wherever it is, just make sure that you house it in the place where you can view it. And then the last one, I should have put this in here. Step number 5, just jot it down. Step number 5 is that you should use the SOP. I feel like that is honestly one of the things that we even probably don't do the best at the Virtual Savvy, is like every time you do the thing, you literally should have that SOP up. And even if it's like, oh my gosh, I know how to do this, you have it up and you have the checklist ready, because what happens is that sometimes the process will change, right? You would say, hey, go to this link, but really the software changed and now you need to go to this link instead. And so if you keep that process up while you're actually doing it, or if you have subcontractors and you tell them, hey, every time you do this, please like try to use this checklist, then what happens is that you're not having to go back and update all these outdated SOPs all the time, because you can catch it in the moment if something changes, right? And so that would be the number 5 unlisted, the step that I didn't put on here. Okay, so I asked this once before, but I want to ask again, what will be the first SOP that you create in your business? Let me know in the comments. And then I'm happy to do a quick Q&A time too. Like, as you guys are dropping in the comments what your first SOP will be that you create, let me know. Let me know any just questions that you have about SOPs, about systems, about scaling. Please let me know, because I'm happy to answer those questions here live. And then while you guys are dropping those comments, let me remind you, if you are ready to scale your business, this is a huge scaling topic, right? We talked about marketing, and then it's like, what is next is SOPs and systems and raising your rates. So we're doing a special Raise Your Rates masterclass where I'm going to be teaching you, it's an hour-long training where I'll be teaching you how to raise your freelancer or virtual assistant rates. It's going to be a really, really great training. So you can go to thevirtualsavvy.com/rates to join that. All righty, let's jump in and do some questions. Oh, you guys are dropping. Let me show some of these, because I think it's good for everybody to see the examples. So Catherine is going to do an onboarding. Terry is going to do content writing, client onboarding, client experience, intake process. I love these onboarding. Oh, so many of you guys, onboarding SOP. I love it. So good. And then we had content creation, social media. That's so good. Oh yeah, I have a written out process, but I never thought of doing a screen record while I actually follow that list. Yeah, makes it super easy to write those SOPs. And again, some people don't want to do the video, like make this your own. If you don't want to do the video component, I just feel like for me, it's easier to have the video component because if I'm just doing a mental checklist, like I'll forget things. So yeah. Let's see. When will the Raise Your Rates webinar be scheduled? Let me see. I'm looking it up. These are the things I should know off the top of my head, and I don't. Tuesday, March 22nd at noon. Okay, so if you're already on our regular Tuesday live streams, it's literally just going to replace our regular Tuesday live stream. Okay, so it's at that same time, but you do need to register for the training. So good. What other questions do you guys have? I am here to answer. I think there were some back in the comments, so let me go back. Will this recording be available? Yes. So for those of you guys who don't know, we go live every single Tuesday. And I'm going to put the link up here actually. .com. I can't type and write and talk at the same time. So all of these trainings, guys, are housed on our YouTube channel. And so if you liked this training, if this was maybe one of the first trainings you've been able to see, we have literally probably at this point hundreds of videos and free trainings over on our YouTube channel. Get ready to binge because there is a lot of amazing content on there. So go to youtube.com/Abby Ashley. Make sure that you subscribe and hit the bell to be notified every time I go live. But really, if you hit the bell, it actually will prompt you every time I'm going live or when I release a new video. So it is super helpful. It's not just a thing YouTubers say. Because I guess I'm a YouTuber because I'm fancy like that. Okay, I saw some questions. Oh, this is a great question. What if you're hired to create an SOP? Would I need to figure out how the company works? Yeah. So if so this is actually a really great question, Elizabeth. This is a task that if you are kind of an admin type of person, this is definitely a higher level task. That's something like an executive assistant or a DOO or an OBM, an online business manager. These are the types of tasks that a lot of times those roles will do is they will actually come in and create the SOPs or facilitate creating the SOPs, right? So I would, if you're offering this as a service, you do need to know how the actual thing is done. So it could be like, hey, client, hello, client A. This month, I would like to document these 3 SOPs. How we post on social media, how we send out an email, how we write a blog post, right? So what I'm going to do is set up 3 meetings with you. And in each one of those separate meetings, I want you to walk me through the process. You don't have to actually sit there while they spend an hour writing a blog post, right? But like, I'm going to record you going through the process of what it takes to write a blog post and publish it on the website. Because if you can get that video from them, then you can go in and make the checklist, right? So you do need to have the actual content of how they do the thing in order to create an SOP. But man, what a service, you guys. Like if you're admin, if your brain is like that process type, this is an amazing service because a lot of business owners who are scaling need SOPs and they don't have them yet. So really, really great idea. Hadn't even thought about talking about SOPs as a service. So really, really good. Yeah, agree. Emily says, I find that making the videos can bring steps you maybe didn't think about out to light. It makes the process more thorough. Sarah just registered for the Raise Your Rates webinar. Woo! Do you offer any type of template to follow? So we don't necessarily have a template, although that's a good idea, of SOPs. But like I said, the best starting place is literally just the record the video and outline the steps. That is going to get you that's going to get you better results than following a fancy template. Like just outline the steps and then actually follow those steps, right? That would be my recommendation. Terry says, I love your videos. Thank you, Terry. You're so sweet. All right. That is all I have for you guys today. Thank you so much. This has been super fun. Don't forget to register for that free training that we have coming up. And of course, if you have more questions, jump into our Virtual Assistant Savvies community. Our Facebook community is one of the best communities to ask questions on how to start your business, how to scale, how to get clients, how to do the things that you guys are out there doing every single day. It's an amazing community, over 80,000 members now. Like, what? That's nuts. So really, really good. And then this training is going to be thebomb.com. So bye. Have an awesome day. I'll catch you next week.